Well, winter's here. Had to park the Civic already, so just gonna go over some of the plans I have over the winter. Basically, our plan last year was to just to get it working, and so we could drive it over the summertime. Work out all the kinks that way. It ended up working out very well over the summer, so I don't really have any complaints. So it's time to do some upgrades anyways, so here's what I have planned. So I'm going to be installing some parts that we got off of our white Civic. I guess it would have been last winter that we had that one. So we ended up stripping that one and selling the shell and selling some other parts, but we ended up keeping quite a few too. One of the big things it had was a rear disc brake conversion, so I'm going to be installing that. I've already disassembled it all the way, and I'm going to be getting it powder coated. I got a bunch of parts for the front end as well that I'm going to be getting powder coated. So I've already gone ahead and I've stripped everything from it, sanded it all down. I've already ordered some parts too, so some things I've ordered are some pulley bushings for the front control arms. It's from Energy Suspension, so I've heard pretty good things about them. I'm just waiting to get everything powder coated now, and then I can install them. I also ordered XTD lightweight flywheel and stage 2 clutch. Kind of a cheaper way to go, but we'll see how they perform. I read pretty good things about them online. One thing I'm a little upset about is when I ordered the flywheel, it's supposed to be a lightweight flywheel. They advertised that it was a 10-pound flywheel, and when I weighed it, when I actually received it, it ended up weighing in at about 13 pounds. So I want to see, when I take the old flywheel off, how much it weighs and see if there's much difference at all. Other than that, it looks like it's a pretty good unit. I also ordered a VMS lightweight aluminum crank pulley. I'm still kind of on the fence on whether I'm going to install it or not. I've heard lots of mixed reviews online about just lightweight pulleys in general causing bearing failure and stuff in the motor because of the vibration that it puts on the crank. So I don't know, we'll see yet. I have it, so I might just end up putting it on, but I don't know if the risk is worth the little amount of power that I'll get from it. Some other plans that I have that I haven't ordered yet are things like a full engine rebuild kit. So there's one that has a full gasket set, comes with the timing belt, the water pump, all the pulleys, everything is included in that. So I don't know if my plans are to rebuild the motor this winter or not. It's not really necessary because it was still performing quite well. But if I have the time to do it, then I might just end up doing it. Also getting piston rings. I was thinking about possibly an aftermarket header, but in looking at them, they don't look much different than the factory one anyway, and I don't think I'll gain anything from it other than looks under the hood. So I'm choosing to go a different route. I think I'm just going to order some header wrap. It's like a titanium braid, and I'm going to just wrap the header with that, and it'll clean it up a little bit, and it won't really make much of a difference performance-wise, but it'll clean it up a little bit more. And then the biggest thing that I'm waiting on now is a limited slip. So I've kind of been on the fence about which way I'm going to go. Some people are telling me just to get a T2W4 transmission from a Euro R. Haven't been able to find anything locally. There is a guy that has the internal piece of the transmission, so I could swap that into mine. I don't know if I want to go that route yet or not. I'd kind of like a spare transmission just in case I end up blowing mine, then I can swap it with another one. Kind of looking for a transmission in Japan right now to see if I can get one shipped out here. But I still think it's going to cost quite a bit more than just rebuilding my own transmission with the internal piece. And then the other option I have also is going with an aftermarket one. So there is also a guy that I know in the city who has a Quaife aftermarket LSD. I might end up going that route too, but at the same time I still would like a spare transmission so that I can just swap it out if I ever need to. But that'll be the biggest thing that I'm waiting on now, is just making that decision for the limited slip. And some other cosmetic things that I'm planning on as well, depending on what I can find for parts, but I've kind of been throwing around the idea of doing a front end conversion on this thing, like an Acura EL. Since this car is pretty much a Frankenstein build anyway, why not throw a different front end on it? I've always liked the way that the ELs look, and I think it would look really good on a hatchback. So depending on what I can find, if I can find the front end on one for a good deal, then I might end up doing that. What else? I do want to shave the side moldings. I'm kind of going for a rat rod type of look on this car as well. So if I shave the side moldings, I want to put our MT Garage logo on the doors. Other things too is like the wheels. So I really like the SSR Type X's that I have on. They're really good for racing because they're a lightweight wheel. Also, I have the original Steelies that came on the car, which I stripped and rusted those as well to give them kind of an old school rat rod kind of look. I do have new tires on there as well that I got last year, so I might just swap the Steelies back onto this car for the time being to give it that rat rod look, and then just use the SSRs for racing. What else? I've also been throwing around the idea of doing white walls on the tires. I don't know how serious I am about doing that yet though. It's kind of something I've been thinking about, just throwing around the idea, but we'll see what I decide. There's a bunch of different methods I've seen online on how to take regular black wall tires and turn them into white walls, like whether it's plasti dipping or using like flexible spray paint. I just want to try to do something that's not going to make it look cheap, and I think that's going to be really tough to do, so I may just need to leave them as black walls and just keep it as is. But yeah, that's about it for the cosmetic stuff that I can think of now anyway. And then there's also just some little mechanical things that I'd like to get fixed here and there. Nothing major, but like things like the horn. Like after installing the steering wheel, actually come to think of it, the horn never worked in this car, so I have to trace that and find out why the horn isn't working. The reverse lights don't work either, so when I put the car into reverse, I got no lights. Just cleaning up some of the wiring in the engine bay as well. Like I said, last year the plan was just to get it working. Now that we know it works, we can kind of clean up some of those loose ends and just kind of clean up the engine bay a little bit more. We'll see again, if I'm rebuilding the motor and I'm pulling it, then I'll be able to clean up a lot more in the engine bay too. Kind of just going to see how far I want to take it this winter and how much time we have too. So stay tuned and look forward to more updates on the H22 Civic.